Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. We're here today with our Friday review. I can't help but saying always one of my favorite shows of the week, not just because I know that we're entering into the weekend, and the weekend is obviously a very special time for many of us. Even if you love your work like I do, you get to hopefully spend just a little bit more time with your family, with loved ones, with those closest to you. And again, I think that time is just always cherished in my opinion. But as we get into our Friday review, I always like to let you know what is coming. So today I'm going to introduce you to, I haven't shared it ever yet. I'm a little worried about the supply. They've been out of stock a number of times, but I'm going to share with you my favorite cold brew coffee. I'm going to share with you how to make your own if you missed a previous episode. I'm going to bring to you one of the books that I think is just really well written and really well published. So I'll be bringing you that book as well. It's on basically psychology and how to change your life just through small changes, small habit changes. I'm going to be bringing you some really excellent research on omega-3s. If you're not using omega-3s, whether food-based or nutritional supplement-based and the right type, I'm telling you right now, there's very few other nutritional supplements with more positive research. And the problem is, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this on today's show is that there's still a few people who are saying, oh no, omega-3s are bad for you. And what they don't understand and what they're not realizing is they're not understanding how oxidation affects omega-3s, and they're looking at it from test tube-based studies, petri dish-based studies, oxidation, no antioxidants in the diet with the omega-3s, and that's a problem. So I'm going to explain that today because I just don't want you to miss out. I mean, today's research is on migraines, it's on cardiovascular issues, inflammation. You're not going to want to miss this for sure. So let's get started. So first things first, I am 5 days in to the 21-day functional medicine detox that I'm doing. I'm excited about this, and here's why. I haven't done a 21-day detox in some time. I do 7-day detoxes every single quarter. If you've listened to my intermittent fasting shows, I'm a huge proponent of intermittent fasting. Every single day, I do a 14-hour intermittent fast. It's what's best for my body. Some people, it's best for 12 hours for them. Others, it's great to do 16. For me, right basically in the middle, 6 at night to 8 in the morning, sweet spot for me, works fantastic. You might like to fast a little longer. You might like to fast a little less. That's okay. We could all be friends, right? You could change your fasting habits based on what you enjoy. Then I do my once a week fast. Again, I'm not going to go over that today. Love it. And I explain that to get into deeper levels of autophagy. Now, here's the thing with the 21-day functional medicine detox. If your goal is maximum autophagy, if it is maximum rebalancing of hormones, of inflammation, of all of the different processes in the body, remember we're looking at this holistically. So digestion, hormones, inflammation, blood sugar, sleep, then you want to do the 2 liquid fasting days for those first 2 days each week, and you'll get maximum benefits. However, if you tuned in my previous show just yesterday, right? Yeah, just yesterday. That was episode 2057. By the way, all links today will be at stephencabral.com/2058. So 2058 will link everything up that I'm talking about here today. Except if I talk about a nutritional supplement, you know that I can't link to it. I'll always do my best to try to provide you other ways to find it. Just that's an FDA rule, not my rule. Of course, I would love to make things easier for you. So here's the thing though. I am looking to put on a little bit more muscle. I mean, there's no need for me to put on more muscle. So why do you put on more muscle? It's a goal. It's always great to have goals. It's great to have body transformation goals. It's great to strive for something. And so that's what my new program is all about. 12-week program to put on about 7 to 8 pounds of muscle. Or again, a lot of people might say, well, it's not really muscle. It's muscle. You're looking at myofibril versus sarcoplasm. I've done, again, shows on that. But yeah, it'll be a lot of muscle volume. There's no doubt about it, but it's not going to be body fat. It's going to be lean body mass, not dry fiber mass, but lean body mass. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. You know, I haven't done a big muscle building program for at least a decade. So I'm excited to get back into this. But that means that I'm going to do my 21-day detox like other people who don't want to lose any more weight. As again, a lot of people, I would say 80% of people who do the functional medicine detox love the extra weight loss. They lose 5 pounds or more in the first 7 days. somewhere between 7 and 10 pounds in 2 weeks, and they might lose 15 to 20 pounds in 21 days. And that's great. And we teach you how to maintain that if that's your goal. For people like me, I lose a couple pounds the first week. There's no doubt about it. I can gain it back if I choose to. But my goal here is not to lose more weight. Okay, so no problem. When I go into my second and third week, I'm going to be doing smoothies instead of the DNS powder and water. And I'm going to be adding some yams, sweet potatoes to my meals, as talked about in that detox program guide. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to stevencabral.com/detox. Honestly, if you only do one thing in order to transform your health, this is it. This is what we do with everybody in our practice. So everybody gets an individualized protocol if they run a lab or they meet with our health coaching team. You can go to stevencabral.com/labs to see all the different labs. But you're beginning with some variation of opening up your liver detox pathways. That's basically it. Because if you want to rebalance hormones, well, you need to get rid of the excess estrogen, glucose. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because, literally I've done seminars on this. And I keep banging my microphone here if you're watching this on video, being a little bit too excited about this. But the difference is, I'm telling you, you feel it. It's one of those things you might take a nutritional supplement. You're like, this is supposed to help me with X, Y, and Z. And you don't really feel a difference one way or the other. It's not that you need to feel a difference. It's just you want to maintain health. But with a functional medicine detox, by day 5, by day 7, dramatic difference. You feel the difference. And that's, of course, why we're one of the only companies that I know of in functional medicine actually guarantee it. I don't know another functional medicine company that actually guarantees your results. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. If you're interested, if you're not participating, I can't recommend it enough. It's literally the same cost as you'd pay for food anyways. So you can head over to stevencabral.com/detox and see what tens of thousands of people have been doing. Okay, so last item that I want to go over for this week is the free the free FM Zinc based product. This is on all qualifying orders over $129. Yes, it is shipped all over the world as well. We ship to somewhere between 24 and 30 countries all over the world, and all orders over $129 will receive this product. So that's the great thing. It's an amazing product. It's 25 milligrams of zinc picolinate, really easy to absorb, handled very well by everybody. Just make sure you're taking it during a meal. People who feel nauseous when they take zinc, take it on an empty stomach. That goes for any zinc product. Take zinc mid-meal and you'll be doing great. So 25 milligrams, a great product to use. And remember, I recommend up to 50 milligrams per day, but not more than that, except if you're sick. And then, of course, you can go a little bit higher for 2 to 3 weeks period of time. If you have any particular medical issues, of course, always consult your qualified health practitioner. You can find that product over at Equilife, or always just go to stevencabral.com/Equilife for the direct offer. All right, podcast recap for the week before we get into my product reviews coming soon, and my book review as well. So loved this week's shows. Not love them because I think that, I spoke into the microphone so eloquently, not that at all. I love the topics. I love being able to bring you what I love. And so one of my favorite topics I've ever spoken about is living your life in 90-day cycles. So that was our Motivation and Mindset Monday, 2054. Don't miss it. Alternate day, intermittent fasting explained. What is this up, down daily diet? So I talk about that. That's episode 2055. We talked about DHEA on Wednesday, and this is a very powerful nutritional supplement and natural pre-hormone precursor in the body that I wanted to share that with information on that as well. Doesn't mean you're going to use it, but I think it's good to have that information. And if you know someone who's suffering from lower libido, lower energy, brain fog, lower immunity, or if there's someone that's in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, this is an important product to talk about. And then the last one yesterday was the 5 tricks I'm using right now to put muscle on while maintaining my health. And tricks is a fun word to use, but they're not really tricks. It's like the opposite of a trick. They're time tested. So I guess it'd be better to say 5 time tested principles I'm using to put on muscle, but we'll go with tricks for now. So that is that. It's been a fun week. Hopefully you check those out. Those are all over at stevencabral.com/podcasts. All right, let's get into my product review of the week. So if you've been listening to the show for some time now, and you might have already gotten this, but I'm not someone so here's the funny thing. I had Addisons disease for about a decade of my life. Addisons disease is the inability to produce energy. It's the inability to produce cortisol. So your cortisol is flat all day. You feel like a zombie. You feel like you've never woken up. And the worst part is you can't even sleep at night, because cortisol and melatonin work on an influx or inverse ratio. When cortisol is high, melatonin's low. Okay, well, when melatonin's high, cortisol is low. But they don't know how to interact with each other if they're both low all the time. I mean, it was literally, I was a walking zombie for a very large part of my life. Good news is, through natural health, not pharmaceutical drugs, I was able to recover. I was able to get over my autoimmune issues, my Addison's disease, my blood sugar issues, insomnia, allergies, and so much more. POTS, insomnia, I could go on and on, right? So here's the thing though. Once I recovered, I haven't needed caffeine for energy. I have a lot of natural energy. I feel great. I'm a healthy individual. I enjoy being healthy. It's why I participate in my health every single day. However, I love coffee. And so I allow myself one small coffee. We're talking about one small mug of coffee, or what I'm about to share with you in a moment. I've been doing a coffee smoothie lately. I'll talk about that next week. All right. That'll be next week. So coffee smoothie. I'm going to give you the recipe next week, next Friday. Okay. So I've been doing one cold brew every single morning. But what I've enjoyed is an organic cold brew that I either make myself, okay, from my favorite coffee brand, or I purchase one for great on the go. I want to share that with you right now. So my favorite coffee brand, and has been for about 2 years, is Purity Coffee. This one is caffeinated. This one's decaf, all right? I mean, they have actually a fairly similar, no relationship to Equalife, but they have a very similar, white packaging, very clean. This is one of the only companies that tests their coffee beans for mold and contaminants, and it meets the 1% standard for the world's best coffee beans. I mean, it's pretty remarkable, and they're super high in antioxidants, which is what I love. So they're roasted to the perfect point where antioxidants are maximized and acrylamides are minimized, which is carcinogenic. I mean, it's just great. It's a great, great company. So what I do is these are whole bean. I grind them fresh, and then I put them in this right here. So if you're watching this on video, you can watch on video at stephencabral.com/2058 or right on YouTube. And what this is this is a BPA plastic container. You could probably find a glass one. I have not been able to find one yet. And all you do is you put your coffee grinds inside, right? So you grind up your coffee beans, you put them fresh right inside, and then you screw this on, of course, not upside down like I'm doing right now. And then what you do is you put this in cold water in your refrigerator overnight, and you can actually lay it on its side for better results. And after 24 hours, you have yourself fresh cold brew coffee that you made yourself. And this will last you like 3 or 4 days. So it's pretty amazing. It's easy to use. And then I just pour this over ice. And then you can add a little macadamia nut milk. You can add a little maple syrup if you're feeling, pretty wild. And it makes an amazing tasting cold brew. So what I do with my cold brew, I just want to share with you, is that I actually do half, so in a mason jar, half cold brew and then half water, splash a little bit of mac nut milk, more than a splash. And then you can add a little sweetener if you choose to. If not, then that's great, because the mac nut milk is, in my opinion, probably sweet enough. So that's what I do the majority of the time. But there's a great company. Now, everybody has different preferences for coffee. There's no doubt about it. My favorite coffees are at stephencabral.com/resources with about 100 of my favorite companies out there. But I'll also link up Purity Coffee today. And they give our community a discount, which is always nice. So if you go to stephencabral.com/2058, look for the discount code. This company has not given us a discount code yet, but we'll keep reaching out to them. It's called Rise Coffee. This is one that I'm a little nervous about giving out here today, and that is because they are often sold out of the original. I just do the original black. It's a nitro cold brew, and there's no sugar, there's no dairy, there's nothing added. These are the ingredients: purified water, and organic coffee. That's it. And, excuse me, they came in now a larger one you keep in your fridge. This one, easy to go on the go, or easy to take on the go, and it's fantastic. And it's only 7 fluid ounces. That's why I chose this brand, because it's 180 milligrams of caffeine. I don't want a lot of caffeine in my body. I don't need a lot of caffeine. So a lot of times, honestly, that's why I like the Purity coffee. I'll do a half decaf, half regular blend, and it's enough for me. And the less caffeine that you need or that you put in your body, the better. But coffee honestly has tons of antioxidants, so there's really nothing wrong with it. It's just the caffeine for people that don't need it or causes anxiety in them that can be a bit of an issue. So this is a great company. This is all organic. It's USDA or organic and only 180 milligrams. A lot of these cold brew to goes are like 250 to 300 milligrams. So you have to be careful when you choose this one, because in 12 ounces, it's 305 milligrams of caffeine. So you definitely want to shoot for a smaller serving, and that's what I do. I'll share my coffee smoothie recipe next week, because that's enough about coffee for today. All right, all these products, how I make my cold brew, Purity, Rise, I'll link those up today. Hopefully Rise will give us a little bit of a company community discount as well. All right, book review of the week this is an oldie but a goodie, meaning that this book I actually referred to 2 years ago on the Cabral concept, but I'm not afraid to go back and give a re-review. And the reason is that this is a new edition that just came out. I shouldn't say just came out. It came out, I think, like 8 months ago or so. And I listened to BJ Fogg actually speak at a conference I was at, and I got to meet him, which was great. So it's called, I love the tagline, "This book will change your life," but it's Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. One of the reasons this came to mind as well, I teach an IHP mastery class, which is teaching certified health coaches and health practitioners how to create better, more consistent results in their life, in the lives of their patients and clients. And this is one of the books that we use for one of the modules. We just quote, it's not the only one we use, Atomic Habits, Tiny Habits, etc. But the reason why I like this book is I love how it's designed. There's tons of infographics in it, which I think is the way that people are really learning and reading now. And all of these different flow charts. So even if you have a previous copy of Tiny Habits, you may want to pick up the newer edition. And I mean, BJ is not paying me anything for saying this, but I love to be able to lift up other people in our industry. And so Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg, maybe we'll have him on the podcast. It would be great to have him on one of our conversations with Cabral. But great book, Tiny Habits. And if you haven't read it yet, it's worth reading for sure. All right. Last, but certainly not least, is our research. I always love to bring you 2 research studies. This one is from the British Medical Journal, I believe, and it is called Dietary Alterations of Omega-3s and Omega-6 Fatty Acids for Headache Reduction in Adults with Migraines, a randomized controlled study. So I'm going to give you the short of it, and then I'm always going to link up the research so that you know, of course, all of this is science-based. So this was done over 4 months. There was 3 different groups they separated people into, and they had, it is 88% women and obviously then 12% men. And the criteria was someone had to suffer with a migraine on average for 5 to 20 days per month. So about 67% were chronic migraine sufferers. And what they did is they wanted to test out, do omega-3s help improve migraines and headaches? So here's what they did. They used 1.5 grams a day of EPA plus DHA, and they were able to say, is there a difference? And at 16 weeks, what they found was that, and this is the exact conclusion, that interventions through omega-3 mediators and headache pathogenesis decrease the frequency and severity of the headaches. They did find that it did not help with a person's stress level, but that's not what omega-3s is supposed to help with. That's more from a lifestyle, behavioral, maybe some tiny habits, as well as things like ashwagandha, L-theanine, magnesium, etc. But we're not talking about that here for today. But it did help with the migraines. So the direct quotes were this: patients who either followed the diet high in omega-3s experienced less than the control group, and those who had followed a diet high in omega-3s and low in omega-6s experienced the biggest improvement. The effect we saw for the reduction of headaches is similar to what we would see with some medications. Unbelievable, right? You can get the same results through food or omega-3 supplementation versus the medication. So I wanted to share that with you because, again, this is something that we preach all the time. More of a Mediterranean style diet does not need to be exactly Mediterranean. I've talked about this many times before. High in omega-3s, high in natural anti-inflammatories, good antioxidants with your 7 to 9 servings of fruits and veggies every day. Low in omega-6s, no oxidized fats in there. And of course, you can use 2 of the daily omega-3 support, which gives you 2 grams a day of the omega-3s. So again, diet, supplementation, whatever it is, but if you're dealing with headaches, this is certainly something to look into. All right, so I wanted to bring one more to you on omega-3s today, and the reason is that, again, a lot of people are still questioning the validity of omega-3s when there's almost, and it's only because there's a couple loud voices out there trying to be, what's the word? Contrarians, yes. Always, again, people make a name for themselves by being a contrarian. It's fantastic. I have no problem with that. It's always nice to present all different sides. I get it. And there's actual truth to oxidized omega-3s and oxidized omega-6s. We don't want those, right? Here's the thing. There might be no more better studied nutritional supplement than omega-3s. There's like 12 that are like super highly studied by conventional medicine. So much so that even conventional medicine has now created a prescription for omega-3s because they know it works so well. So I just, again, like everybody's showing that as long as a healthy one, then we're doing great. But this one is a little bit more in depth because this actually, it came out of Brigham and Women's Hospital right down the road from me in Boston, literally a mile and a half away. And it's a meta-analysis of omega-3 fatty acids and improving cardiovascular outcomes. This was on 38 different studies. So what they did was basically look at 38 different studies. They said, okay, what do we see here? And this was really interesting because what they found was that not only, so this is an exact quote, they found that omega-3 fatty acids improve cardiovascular outcomes. So we kind of already knew this, like that was already known. But here's what they found, that they can see that the totality of the evidence is more consistent with higher EPA omega-3s. So let's see here. There's 149,000 participants, and the meta-analysis provides reassurance about the role of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA, and they wrote prescription, but again, we're not recommending pharmaceutical drugs here. And that it was an interesting new find. So here's the thing though. And again, I honestly, this is the truth too. I don't want credit for any of these things. I do the research. I study really hard. I spend a lot of time on my work. My work is my life. My life is my work. Of course, my family is part of my life too. People, when I say that, people are like, wait, what about your family? Well, yes, of course. Like I have 2 loves. I have my passion for my work and my love for my family. So here's the thing though. We have been one of the only, and still are one of the only functional medicine formulators to create a 2-to-1 or more of EPA to DHA because we are truly science-based. We look at the research and we also understand biochemistry and nutritional biochemistry. And that's because EPA can move to DHA if needed, but DHA does not freely flow as well to EPA. So and how do we know this? Well, the only way I found this out was 5 years of doing omega-3 testing and using lots of different omega-3s. And then I said, the people that are using a 2-to-1 or better omega-3 EPA to DHA formula are getting better results. So that's what we switched everyone to, and everyone got better results. I've now been running the omega-3 test for at least a decade, and to my knowledge, if you're using 2 soft gels a day or 1 teaspoon a day, you're going to get your omega-3 levels to exactly where they should be. So I just wanted to share that with you. These things don't have to be difficult, and the outcomes can just be absolutely phenomenal. I don't actually know. Let me see. I'm going to get you that link right now because you know that I can't post it on my podcast page. But if you go to stephencabral.com/omegas, that's OMEGAS. Let's see if I can actually spell that again correctly. stephencabral.com/omegas, OMEGAS. You'll be able to see the omega-3 that I personally used every single day. And it's the one that I recommend in my practice as well. So hopefully today's podcast was helpful, but just keep in mind too, you can always do it through fish. Absolutely. You get good, clean fish. You can do that. It needs to be about 4 times a week is the minimum that I've seen it, 4 to 5 times a week. And you can look for those high omega-3s. I've done a podcast on that as well. I'll try to link that up today at stephencabral.com/2058. Hopefully today's show was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Of course, always do feel free to share the show with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care, everyone. And I'll talk with you tomorrow on our Cabral House Calls.